YouTube, what's good? I am here to talk to you guys about the cult classic Eternal Darkness. Eternal Darkness is one of Gamecube's darker, mature games. It is a survival horror game. In that genre, it is actually seen as very prestigious, which I just played the game and it definitely left a very memorable impression. Hence, that's why I'm talking to you guys today. Therefore, the game does live up to the hype. But who is it for? If you like games with fixed camera angles, like classic Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Dino Crisis, Clock Tower, Parasite Eve, Tormented Souls, Murder House, you're in luck. I would even recommend this game for classic Tomb Raider fans since they like games that don't tell you what to do and they want you to figure it out, and there's plenty of things to explore and to figure out in this game, and a lot of puzzles to figure out. More importantly, why is this game so fun to play? Let me tell you. Actually, in this game, it's more like this game is all about spellcasting, and what makes it so intriguing is it's like learning a language. To learn a spell, you're gonna have to find the scroll and the codex to discover a word. However, once you discover that word, you're going to piece it together with the other words you know to make a functional spell. Even more, the game has different alignments to cast spells under, which do have a rock, paper, scissors hierarchy system. So when you're playing the game, you're going to run into puzzles where you have to find out which spell do you even need to cast to solve the puzzle, and what alignment do you need to cast it under. This game is like if you have Rosetta Stone and your teacher is Quan Chi or some shit. For a survival horror game, the fighting mechanics of this game are actually very smooth. Shooting feels good, and using melee weapons also feels good. There is a combat mechanic which allows you to target a specific limb or head of an enemy, as well as the game gives you a 3-piece combo, and there are also execution animations while enemies are on the ground. And on top of all of this, you still have all those magic spells at your disposal. Boy, I'm pulling a Mortal Kombat Armageddon fatality on your ass. The main hook of this game and what really had people gravitate towards it was the sanity mechanics. When your sanity was near zero or at zero, the game had so many interactions with the TV that would have you tripping out. Like, it would have your save showing it's corrupted, the TV getting turned off, the volume getting turned down. But some of the animations are so old that they only match box TVs. However, I will say there were still some times that whatever interaction and animation I was given had me tripping out. Like, I thought my game froze at one point, but then it started working 10 seconds later. It is to mention, in my playthrough, my sanity never really reached zero that much. Like, it probably happened less than 5 times, and there were still moments that just really had me tripping out. I don't even want to spoil it for nobody who hasn't played the game yet. Furthermore, the atmosphere and the ambiance of this game is definitely intense. I'm someone who plays a lot of horror games, and I've seen most American horror movies, so it takes a lot to scare me or something to make me feel uneasy or creeped out. This game definitely has moments that make the hair on my neck stand up and makes me want to second guess myself to continue going forward, because like the random knocking, the random footsteps you hear in the mansion, and all the other effects that the game gives to you, it's really just top notch. And it really gets to you how creepy this stuff gets, especially as the game continues to go on. Let me digress and actually tell you guys what this game is about. This game follows a woman named Alexandra Rojas. We're just going to call Shorty Alex. Nonetheless, Alex finds out that her grandfather has been murdered, so she travels to his estate and learns of his involvement with containing the Tome of Eternal Darkness. Now, this tome is a book made out of human flesh and bone. Even more, when Alex finds pages for this book, she is actually able to relive the memories of her ancestors, and it reveals their involvement with the Eternal Darkness and how her family became the bloodline to be the guardian of the book before it falls in the hands of evil. Furthermore, on top of having really amazing storytelling and narration, this game has storytelling on tiers on the same as the Legacy of Kain games, especially on that same dark gothic vibe. There's so much mystery and ambiguity in the story that keeps you hooked to figure out how all this plays out. If I had to compare this game to any piece of fiction, I would compare it to Clive Barker's Book of Blood. Which Clive Barker is the filmmaker who made Hellraiser, if you don't know, so you know you're getting to some pretty wicked territory. Furthermore, Book of Blood is about this guy whose spirits carve their name into his skin, and then you have this other psychic lady who reads the names carved into that guy's skin, and she's able to figure out how they died. Which is why I think it's so similar to the plot of this game, how Alex is able to relive her ancestors' lives if they get the pages that they were written in for the Tome of Eternal Darkness. Anyways, I recommend Books of Blood from 2020. That is the sequel to the movie Book of Blood. Don't let the ratings fool you. People just didn't realize it was an anthology. One thing I will say that's a negative about this game is the body blocking you experience in this game is so atrocious. Some of the spells that you cast take too long to cast, and then if you get hit, it gets disrupted. Sometimes you can get hit into a hit stun loop, which gets really annoying. There's like one or two puzzles that can be very confusing, and there's also one spot that I just didn't realize there was a path there. But that's to be expected when you play games like this. This game is still very good. It's a cult classic that actually lives up to all the hype. And if you like horror games, you like fixed camera angles, and you like good storytelling, then Eternal Darkness is definitely the game for you. And as always, guys, vibe out.